Happy Friday, everyone. Welcome to ID at Xbox. Hello. Apologize for being a little late. We had some technical difficulties getting started, but we're here. Don't worry. We still have our Friday stream. It's still happening. Man, what a week for indie games. So for those who live under a rock and have not been paying attention, we had a lot of games come out this week. We had 33 games launched through ID at Xbox this week. Quite a lot. It's always exciting, but as everyone has probably seen in the news, there's been one in particular that, kind of, I've been calling it the GTA 6 equivalent of the indie world. That's kind of like what it's done. A lot of devs were afraid of releasing around the same time period and stuff like that, which is understandable. You want to strategically plan the launch of your game so that way it can get attention, right? And when one game in particular is launching, and they have a marketing beat that is substantial, you kind of just have to play along with the waves of what's going to happen out of it. And so that was Silksong. So for those who are Hollow Knight fans, it's out and it's ready for you, and there you go. But make sure you check out the other 32 games that came out this week. There was a lot of really cool stuff. Like today we sent out a social post for 12 games that launched today, and there's some really good ones in there. Go take a look. There's some awesome stuff coming out every single day through ID at Xbox. It's worth taking a look. Don't just get stuck on one title. And yeah, there's been a lot going on. Last weekend was PAX West here in Seattle. The weekend before that was Gamescom over in Cologne, Germany. The industry is just going crazy right now. So, and then as we move towards fall, all of your fall launches are coming. All the indie games, all the AAAs, they're all releasing. It's a good time for gaming right now. So, just keep an eye out. There's lots of good stuff. Let's see. I want to make sure I say hi to my friends real quick. Apex Dopey, Famicorps, Henry, Shitsu. I see Gigi in chat from today's dev interview. So hi. We'll get to you guys in a second. Joe, K4, hello, everyone, hello. Let's see. Okay. I think that's about everything. Oh, I'll drop this last note for all of you who are Hollow Knight fans. I just started Hollow Knight 1 last night. So, I got to play through it and then I'll get to Silksong. So, I'm a little bit behind schedule on that one. So, I'll give you my review once I get to it. But Hollow Knight 1 is great so far. So, but let's move into today's fun stream. We have a unique one today. Usually when we stream ID at Xbox developer interviews, the developer interviews are based on games that released generally that week. Sometimes we go about 2 weeks back. And then we had an interesting one. We just did Nico de Rico recently, and Nico de Rico wasn't a game that released recently. It released almost a year ago, but it was the physical release day of the stream. So that was super cool. A lot of you guys supported and bought the physical edition, which was great. Today's stream is very interesting because it's not a game that launched this week. It's a game that launched a year ago. It's 1 year anniversary of the game. And then on top of that, it's on sale right now. They put a nice deep discount for you guys if you guys are interested in taking a look through and picking it up. But I'll let my friends over here introduce themselves and talk about the game a little bit. Quentin, welcome to ID at Xbox stream.
Thank you, Keith. Glad to be here. Hope you're doing well.
So I guess Quentin, you want to tell us about yourself? Talk about Chimera. Talk about Songs of Silence.
Yeah, sure. So my name is Quinton. I'm the project manager at Chimera Entertainment. I've been working on Songs of Silence for now yeah, about over 2 year. Helped lead the team across early access and then 1.0, and now making sure everything goes well for the live ops. We have a lot planned on the roadmap. And of course, being an indie dev studio, it's always fun, especially in this market where every house is burning. But it's yeah, it's the same for everyone, I think. So it's really a very passionating job. I don't know if it's something that's very English what I'm saying. And yeah, trying to day to day build the game with the community. I mean, we'll get into that in a second. But yeah, I'm basically the project manager.
Awesome. We already have a couple of comments in chat from people who may know you throughout streams and stuff. So
Possible. It's possible.
one of them was switching hair colors quite often.
Yeah, I made some experiments. It's summer and time to try new things. And let's just say that before August, I was very dark.
Okay.
On my.
Okay.
On my...
That's awesome. Okay. So yeah. So we got a little bit of an introduction of. We'll jump into the game here soon. I think we're gonna be playing some multiplayer, right? So we got to set up a multiplayer lobby real quick. Okay. Cool. So we've got a couple things coming up. I guess. Would you want to give a brief
yes,
a brief explanation of what Songs of Silence is?
Yes, of course. I will send you the room code so you can start joining, and I will present then a high overview of the game while we're doing this. So Songs of Silence is a 4X turn-based strategy games. So 4X, for those who don't know, it means expand, explore, exterminate, and exploit. So basically, you start on a map, you have to explore the map, beat people, and try to conquer the land, and there's resources, different types of resources, and yeah, you have to basically rule the territory over which the game starts. And what's very specific about Songs of Silence and makes it unique is that, first of all, there's a part that's turn-based. When you're playing on the strategy map, this is turn-based, but then when you're actually fighting, it's real-time battles. So it's an interesting mix. And the game was thought and built with the idea that we wanted the strategy games to be fast-paced. The skirmish or the maps that you're playing on, that they're fast-paced, and that you're able to start and finish one in potentially a single evening. Whereas if you compare it to other games, I don't know, for example, Total War or Heroes of Might and Magic, often whether you're playing campaign or single-player modes or skirmish, it lasts for many days, if not weeks, and basically sometimes you don't even finish your map, and it can be quite frustrating, especially like we're all a generation that has grown up with video games, and well, now we have kids. Like we may have money, but now we have kids, so we don't have time. It's always this shifting of priorities, and the idea was to try and build a strategy game that you can enjoy in the evening when you're done with your day. So that was it. And also, it's what makes it really unique is its visual identity. So the key inspiration for Songs of Silence is a art movement known as Art Nouveau. It's an art movement that took root in the early 20th century and originated in Europe. France was a big driver. There was some artists, like Alphonse Mucha, notably. I actually have some. We can get into it later, but I have some of the reference materials that we've used, so I can show. But I'm sure the game will also speak for itself. So long story short, it's a strategy game that's meant to be fast-paced and pretty, whereas in the past, some games tend to maybe have been quite long to finish your games, and maybe a little on the, not dull, because I think most games in general are quite pretty, but at least on the darker side, whereas we wanted something brighter.
Yeah. No, I mean, when it comes to like army battling games where you're building infantry to fight or find bases and take them out, or just fight essentially wars with each other, they tend to be darker themed. It's just kind of the natural like war is dark, so and then I mean I'm a big Civ player myself, so I've played Civ matches that have lasted months.
Yeah. And
I
and
can see
also
the necessity of having a comparable game that is much quicker paced. I
yeah.
actually get a lot of that same feeling out of. I was a big Halo Wars 2 player, and
Mm-hmm.
matches in Halo Wars 2 generally were about an hour, which is
Mm-hmm.
great. So
That's
I
fine.
do.
That's totally fine.
Yeah, yeah. So, just real quick before we keep moving on topics, the room code did not work for me. So, I don't
Did
know
it?
if it was
Did I?
mistyped or something.
No,
But
it's me. It seems I can't read anymore. It wasn't a C, it was a G at the beginning. This explains why.
Okay,
Apologies.
no
And
worries.
yeah, actually, one more thing about the game. Its complexity. You just mentioned Civ. Actually, I tried to fire up Civ. I think it was 2 weeks ago, Civilization 6, and I just got turned down by the complexity, and I was like, yeah, no. And this game is meant
It's
to be
very complex. Yeah.
yeah, it's very complex, and this game is also meant to be much more easier to pick up as a strategy game. Doesn't mean that it doesn't have depth. On the contrary, the more you get into the systems, the more you realize there's depth to it. But it's easy to understand at first, and depending on the faction that you play with, especially if it's the what we call the classic medieval style faction, which is called the Thousand Kingdoms, it's very easy. And then we have some other factions which are a little more funky. We'll get to that in a second, but yeah,
Yeah.
it's meant to be more easily picked up.
Awesome. That kind of answers some of the questions that I saw in chat already, which are,
Mm-hmm.
I saw one of our moderators mention, I checked this game out prior, but I suck at it. I'm gonna watch today's stream to learn tips. And then I saw someone else mention, Thaneros over on YouTube said, is the game beginner friendly? Which, I feel
Yes.
like when you go into strategy RPGs, that is like a solid question, because generally
Absolutely.
this genre is very complex, like almost to the point where studying the game before you even buy it comes into play, kind of a thing.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, on Discord we have members of our community, which we're very thankful for because they're super engaged, and they've made literally Excels of the balancing and the guides to the strategy, and we're like, wow, guys, this is amazing.
that's awesome.
And we wish we could do it on our own, but sometimes you just don't have the time. We need to build content or rebalance things, or improve or build new features. And when we see this, we're really thankful for anyone in our community that's doing this kind of thing. It's really great.
That's awesome. So yeah, let's keep talking as we play, because I want to make sure we get a lot of
Yes.
gameplay in. Should I start with something other than random? Would you recommend something?
Yes, absolutely. So there are 3 factions available in the game: the Thousand Kingdoms, the Old Race, the Crusade. I recommend that you start with the Thousand Kingdoms because
Cool.
it's the classic medieval style faction that I was mentioning. And I recommend the High Lord, although the Hierophant is also great. I'll just give a brief summary of what they are. The High Lord, you're basically a cavalry leader, and the Hierophant is meant to be a war priest more focused on healing. So then it's up to you. It's a personal preference, I would say.
Okay. I do like, generally when I play strategy RPGs, I tend to be more on the build an army that can out-survive the enemy.
Mhm.
So I feel
Yeah.
like the
Then you're
Hierophant might
definitely
be where I
gonna,
lie.
yeah,
Okay.
you definitely want to go for the Hierophant because they're
Okay.
summoners who summon and heal.
Okay.
And then you only have 1 vocation, so these are the subclasses, but
Cool.
of course you unlock them. Speaking of which, I can already say something, is that next week we'll be pushing an update to improve the unlock of heroes. We'll talk about it a little bit later on because I think
Nice.
it'll make sense.
Okay.
But yeah, as
Cool.
for me, I will be picking the Old Race, which is the second faction, and it's one that is more focused. I'll explain the mechanics, but it's focused on slow building. And then so we're able to see stuff in the stream, I have 2 fates. So fates are at the above. I don't know if the people can see it on stream, but it's the Too Little, the Eye, and the Tower in the quadrant, and those will allow us to see everything going on screen. It's the modifiers, and the other make sure that all our locations are not, there's no ruins, basically, that it's intact.
Cool. Okay.
All right,
Nice.
and then just click ready, and I will be able to start the game.
Ready.
Awesome.
Let's see.
So right off the bat, like the screen say your loading screen depends on the faction. You have the Thousand
Oh,
Kingdoms.
that's cool.
This is Lorelei on her bull. There's a whole story. She's leading a group of refugees to a new realm, and fleeing the crusade. So yeah, our art really is meant to infuse and storytell along the way at every step.
Okay. Two
All
quick
right.
questions for you.
Yeah.
One, because my moderation team is going to go crazy if I don't ask this question, but
Mhm.
every stream, whenever we do a developer interview, we always ask
Yeah.
where the development team is from, because we're in the
Yes.
process of building a. Actually, I'll show it on screen real quick. We're in the process of building a world map, and so chat. This is the first time you get to see it, but world map coming into play of all the development streams that we're working on. So,
Nice.
so we need a place to put you.
Well, the studio Chimera Entertainment is based in Munich, Germany. So it's
Munich.
the southeast part of Germany.
Okay. All right. Munich. Perfect.
Yeah.
So Joe,
We have
you
obviously. I'll just make a quick note. We also have people. We're not everybody is in Munich. We have people working with us who are in, for example, Eastern Europe, but also in Portugal. Some are in
Nice.
Poland. So we're a very international studio. We're really lucky to have. I don't have the exact number in mind, but I think it's like eight or nine nationalities,
Wow.
and that's great.
Approximately how many people are over at Chimera?
There are about 20 people at Chimera. Yes.
Nice. Okay, that's awesome. Cool. And then the second question was. Oh, it was actually a question that I was curious of. A lot of games in the genre take place off of real life, or sometimes theories and things like that, where it's based off of history or theorized history. Is the Songs of Silence IP completely original, or does it base off of history by any means?
No. It's completely original. It's it's a high fantasy lore, I would say. For those who are interested, we have a story trailer actually on YouTube.
Oh, cool.
It's both on our channel and on the Xbox channel, and it tells basically how the world was built. But in a nutshell, at first there was one world, and two people start fighting, basically a civil war, the Firstborn and the Starborn. So the Firstborn are a race of people who are able to feel the energy and perceive the world through the energy of the world that's flowing a bit. Imagine Avatar, but except that it's not the Navi. It's people who don't have eyes. They look like human beings, like us. They're deeply, their
I
customs
saw
are
that.
deeply rooted. Yeah.
I think it's it looks like the class type that I picked doesn't have eyes, right?
No. Your class does because
Oh,
they're
really?
Starborn, and then the Starborn are basically Firstborn people that evolved and were granted the eyesight by gods, and they started fighting because in the end they were two different civilizations that had different philosophies. And to stop this civil war, there is a very powerful being, who basically split the world in two, the world of light and the world of dark. And to travel from one to another, you have to use these purgatories, which are these black hole-ish, these black holes that act as portals.
Yeah.
But because of this, the world being torn, it creates an instability, and the silence appears, and it's basically seeps out of the purgatories, and it corrupts and drains the life force out of everything. So that's like the very high level lore in Songs of Silence, and from there, well, we go into the Starborn and the Thousand Kingdoms, the Firstborn and the Old Race, and then the Crusade, which is a group of religious fanatics who take people from both the Firstborn and the Starborn, but then they lead these void creatures, which are basically creatures from a nether realm, and are quite horrible to look at and very scary. And then you have additional side factions. We have the Light Eaters, we have the neutral faction, which are beasts from the wild, from the forest, and then we have the Forlorn. So there's basically three main factions, and then there's several other factions that gravitate around it. So we're really not in so much in history. We're really in the high fantasy.
Yeah. No, that's awesome. Okay, cool. Yeah, there's so much to learn. Okay.
Yeah, exactly. So I think it's my turn. So I will just quickly, like you're on the you can see the whole map if you use the right joystick. You can zoom in and zoom out.
Yeah.
And it gives you
Oh.
exactly an overview. So I am in the south, you are in the north,
Yeah.
and in between there's a bunch of locations. These locations right now are all neutral. That's why they have the little gray flag. And obviously, when you conquer them, this will increase your income. With more income, you have then more gold, building material, and faith resource. So your faction resource is faith. For me, it's him. I don't remember what my faction resource is. I think it's him. Yeah. Then if the more gold, the more you can recruit in terms of units. We'll be able to dive into that. What you're looking at right now is the perks of a specific location. Every location has its own perks. Every hero also we'll be able to recruit new heroes as we play, has its own strengths and weaknesses. So yeah.
Cool.
And
Okay.
for me, I will already start. You can actually inspect by pressing Y my location, so you can see like what I'm doing and looking at all the creatures basically there.
Yeah.
And what I can say already from my faction is, so it's the constructor. I have the constructor hero, and the old race. I told you that they basically are capable of feeling the energy of the world around them, which is the him, and they are able to build basically these these not monsters but these constructs. So it's what you see with the spear, basically war machines made out of stone, and then they infuse this stone with energy and it comes to life. And that's what my hero is, let's say, specialized in. It's in these types of units.
Okay.
And I will see which location I should conquer first. I'm going to go do a battle. And you can spectate also battles when they take place and see what it is that I'm doing. I think you have to exactly.
Oh yeah. Okay. And so this is your auto chess or auto battler. So you sent them to
It's
battle,
an auto.
but you're just waiting
Exactly.
to see the results.
Exactly, but the thing is, I have an influence on it. You don't see it, but maybe you saw these little rays of light appearing. I am able to play cards that then influence this battle. So I currently have two battle cards, one which is called Guardian's Call, and the other which is called Call of Life. One is so fallen combatants of target units have 10% chance to be revived. And the other is basically an attack card that summons a being out of the earth and then just whacks things around.
Whoa, that was cool. Okay.
Yeah, yeah. So this is the specificity of this. These battles are real time. If we were to play against one another, it's real time. But there is an influence on it through the use of these battle cards, basically.
Okay.
And what I'm doing now is I just linked my two locations.
Yeah.
So this is the specificity of my faction. To increase my income, I need to link my buildings together and create a chain. So it's actually very strong when the chain gets very long. It gives me a lot of income. But if you break the chain, then my income basically plummets.
Oh, that's pretty cool. So the strategy or the combatant against your faction is once if the map was hidden, you're trying to find like a middle point to try and break your infantry.
Exactly.
That's cool. Okay,
For
so
for you, it's much simpler. Your faction mostly relies on gold income, which you get
mm,
when you conquer locations, but you don't have to link them. But one thing I can already say is you have a card at the bottom, which you can select by using the right or left trigger.
yeah.
And this card, you should not use it right now. It will
Oh,
allow you to basically, like taxes in a certain sense, tell a location, all right, I want you to extract gold out of you. And depending on the level of prosperity, it then will give you an amount of gold. So the higher your prosperity level, the more gold you will get. But then you have to cash in that gold. So if you play this card, I recommend playing it on a location where you're able to cash in your gold, and
got it.
not one where you cannot cash in. It's a perk that's called how is it called? Each time I confuse it, it is called the
Tithe?
storage. Storage. No, tithe is the name of the card that allows you to get gold, but then you have to cash in that gold, and you
Oh,
need to
I
be in a
see.
location that has the storage perk. That basically
Got
like
it.
it
Got
has
it.
a bank, and it's the little cobalt with the gold coin just on the bottom of that wheel, next to the tower, next to it on the right. Exactly that one.
All gorge, gold stored in the loot. Like, oh, I see. Okay. Okay. Cool. Okay. Cool. All
And
right.
right now
So
it's your turn, so
yeah.
I let you do your thing.
Well, okay. Well, so give me some guidance here. Where what would be like a recommended first turn for your opponent here?
Yeah. So in your first turn, of course, you want to probably recruit a new unit. So you go on your capital, press Y to inspect it,
Oh,
and no, you're fine. You're fine.
okay.
This is what you have to do. No, no, don't attack just yet. Press
Yeah.
Y on the capital, and then you have your on the bottom you have recruitment cards that are shown basically on the bottom and that you select with triggers. And this is, yeah, exactly on the right. So you have different options. Right now you have an army size of 4. So you have 3 units. You can still add 1. What I recommend is, so right now your army, you have your hero, which is the priest that's in the middle. You
Yeah.
have very strong foot infantry in the front, which are called Oathsworn. You can
Yeah.
inspect the unit if you want with by clicking Y, and you'll have the nice artwork show up, and you can read up on the lore. Then, wait, did it work?
Inspect.
If you click,
Yeah.
exactly, yeah, and you see all of the units perk because each unit has its own strength and weaknesses. So obviously, this one has very strong in defense. It's slow, but it's a high
Yeah.
defense infantry. And then in the back, you have war priests that are ranged units. So they basically literally make not thunder, sorry, lightning rain down from the sky. So it's a pretty cool unit. So either you
Nice.
can choose to increase your range capacities, your range strength, and you can recruit then another of these Acolytes of Wrath. It's the card that's most to the right, I see. Or you can recruit cavalry. Personally, I would go for a unit like at this stage, probably cavalry, because they will be able to storm and go, because your Oathsworns are very slow, so they won't be able to attack immediately, whereas your cavalry can already charge forward while the infantry on foot slowly gets up to the enemy.
So would I put that as a garrison unit then?
No, I would put it in your army directly because you still have some
Okay.
space. The garrison stays. So when you move your army, you take with you your army, of course, and the reserves, which is in the back. The garrison is tied to a location, so you can, even if you're not
Ah,
here, you can
the
still
defense unit.
basically defend a location by
Got it.
leaving units in the garrison.
Okay.
And
And
then
so
I would just
now,
simply head to the village literally in front of you and just storm it.
but I do that by selecting my where the army currently is, and then zooming
Exactly.
into here.
And then
Okay.
exactly, and then
Oops.
clicking A to say, okay, I want to attack you. And there's always an
Cool.
indication that will tell you, is the enemy a bit too strong? Is it super weak?
Yeah.
And in this case, it said, yeah, you're fine. This is going to be an easy win.
Oh,
So you see
cool.
you have
So
your
there's a
cavalry. Exactly. And now you have the battle cards that you can use. This is the retreat card on the left. And if you press A, then you can use them on the
are they
battlefield. And
one-time
one is
use?
no, then there's a cooldown.
Oh.
Each
Target
card
fights
has
become
a
immune.
yeah.
Okay.
And then the other card is a summoning card, and you can summon. Oh well, you
Wasn't
really did
needed.
need
I
it.
killed him.
Exactly. You were way too OP for this. So then you have the victory screen that tells you, okay, you gained experience, you gained 14 gold, but the gold is earned in the form of a loot wagon, and you need to
Yeah.
cash in that loot wagon. That's what I was
And that
explaining
was
before.
what you were explaining before.
Exactly.
Yeah, with that extra card that I have. Okay, cool. Oh, and then I
Exactly.
can see
Exactly.
casualties.
Yes.
So,
So funny enough,
um,
funny story on this. This was not present in the game on release on early access, and even I think 1.0. No, actually 1.0 it was there, but it's definitely something that we added. That was a community request, and we tried to have a as possible community-driven development cycle where we basically look at the feedback that we get through different channels. It can be
that's great.
Discord, it can be our own website where we have this Reddit-like upvote thing, also social media, and a lot of it was, hey, I would like to know what happened in the battle, like what were the casualties, did I lose, which units did I lose, etc. Did I
Yeah,
lose a whole battalion, etc.,
a
etc.
little
So
more detailed of a post-battle report. Because
exactly,
you probably
exactly,
had something, but it wasn't as detailed as what it shows now.
exactly. That's the thing with
Gotcha.
strategy games. It's people need information. We know that our players, they need to know what's happening because it's a very, in a sense, numbers-driven type of game where
Oh,
you're always
absolutely.
optimizing.
Yeah.
So you need to expose those numbers, and there's a ton of feature that we developed based on these community requests that were like, okay, we really need this, and then we prioritize because, of course, like for every game, we have a backlog of requests, which is literally
Oh,
hundreds of
yeah.
lines in an Excel, and my
Community
job,
is perfect. They'll give you everything you want, but it's a matter of prioritization, and then it's kind of a
exactly,
determination on like how much is this truly needed. Is it a minority
yeah,
vote on like something that is kind of like a nice to have, or is it a need to have kind of a situation? So I could totally understand that
exactly.
too. Cool. And then after battle, do I have? I
Y-
mean, I can see it can end my turn, but like, is there something I should
Yeah,
kind of look for
yes.
before ending my turn?
Yes, absolutely. This is actually a very rookie mistake. So if you inspect the location you've just conquered, you'll see that
Oh,
it's right now it's in an unrest state. You've obviously took a bit of damage, not too much,
mm,
because you have a war priest with healing capabilities. They are already healing, so that's
yeah,
great for you. What you want to do though is leave a unit in your garrison because this village isn't fortified. So the minute you leave it, if there is a neutral army that's roaming by, it will come in and storm it. So you cannot leave it undefended. If it has fortifications, you're fine. This one does not. So you want to
yeah.
leave a small unit. So that's why you have still, I see. You could also do this, by the way, on the next turn because I think you'll be able to recruit civilians. You don't have to do it now, but it's before you leave the city on the beginning of the next turn. That's definitely something you want to do. And the unrest state will end at the end of your turn when you start your new turn. So yeah, that's just
Got it.
important FYI, I would say.
Okay. Um. Well, but you said I'll be able to recruit civilians, so probably not needed for me to do anything right now. Then.
Right now, no, because you have an army in that village, so nothing will
Yeah.
happen to you. But before leaving it on the next turn, recruit one and leave it there.
Would I not have that same problem here? I kind of left it
No,
completely abandoned.
Absolutely, but it's fortified. You have walls around it, so
Ah,
this protects it.
okay, got it. Okay, so then I think I'm probably good to end my turn. Yeah,
Absolutely, exactly.
cool. Okay, and then I'll let you do your turn. Um, George, I see you won the first key. I actually should mention that Chimera and Quentin were very kind to bring along a few keys to give away during the stream today.
Hmm.
If you are watching over on the YouTube side, the giveaways are done over on Twitch, so make sure you hop over there. It is just ID at Xbox. The word at, not the symbol. And then, yeah, I appreciate you guys bringing over some keys to give away during the stream. I know the community loves it. So,
Yeah, no problem.
George, congratulations on winning the first key of the day. And then I saw a question over on YouTube. It was from the Winter Shoulder. Love the game. Will Play Anywhere be added so that way we can play on the new Xbox ROG Ally X and PC? It's not something that you necessarily have to answer, but if you have any information on whether there's going to be, future additions to being able to play handheld, which actually, I could see. I feel like there's probably a desire to play strategy RTSs and auto battlers on. I know I play my fair share of card games on like my handhelds that I have right now. I could definitely see this on a handheld device.
Yeah, so I mean, we are already present on one handheld device, which is I think quite known. What we are not present on is the I don't know how much I could say on let's say Japanese and handhelds that we are not present on, uh, and
On
we
competitor
we
platforms. Yeah.
exactly, yeah, that we're not on. But we are looking. There's always the question of how easy is it to bring the game there. We do want to, of course, bring it to as many people as possible.
Mm.
We actually developed some. Uh, I don't know if it's how it works exactly because I haven't used it, but I know GeForce Now is a service used, for example,
Oh
to
yeah, I have seen
the
that.
game. Exactly. We actually are use that. I have no idea how this works, but it's a service provider that we managed to get on, so that's good. But it's yeah, for the Rogue specifically that right now no, because we haven't. Honestly, it's the first time we get that request. But in the future, why not? If we do have no higher prio and we see that there is definitely a big amount of people that's just at the gates waiting to play it, that
Sure.
would make sense, I would
Okay.
say.
Very cool. All right. What does your turn 2 look like? I see you left one team in your garrison, which makes sense.
Exactly,
I now
exactly,
understand that. But where did your other
exactly.
units go? Am I missing
So
something?
I went to the tower that's actually a bit on the left side. So if you go left and up, my army is there. Nope, nope, there. And it's a location that I want, but it's actually an adventure location. So this is another feature of the game. I haven't fully won it because there is an adventure there. And if I want to fully conquer it, I have to beat the adventure. But right now it's telling me you can't see it on your screen, but it's telling me it's too dangerous. So I'm going to hold back. I'm gonna leave a unit there, just like I did in the other. Oh no, actually I can't even do that. Huh. Interesting. Then how do I do
So
this?
you couldn't could you have known that it would have been too dangerous prior to you invading this tower?
Yes, yes, absolutely. Because there's if you inspect the location and you look at the bottom on the wheel of the yeah, exactly. There is at the very bottom one like a little two, adventure two. And usually
Oh,
if it's adventure one, it's gonna be super easy. Adventure 2, it's usually mid game, and Adventure 3, yeah, that's more mid to late game that you can win it. And adventures are cool because they often, first of all, the location itself will unlock cool cards, and then it always gives you a unit. If you win, it gives you a unit directly in your army ready to use it, which is often actually quite powerful.
okay.
So, yeah, quite good to
Interesting.
have. In the meantime, I will simply just, yeah, maybe do some recruitment in my capital if I can. Yes, actually, I
Real
can.
quick, I see a couple of questions. One was
Yep.
uh Hydelus says, say hi to
Yes.
Quinton for me.
Hello, Hydelus. Yeah, so this is like I said, I mentioned about community members being very involved.
Yeah.
That is one of them. He's also a great artist and draws a lot of stuff on our Discord.
Okay.
So he's definitely part of the people who make the Discord come to life and make it fun.
Okay. Cool. And then yeah, Winter Shoulder, no problem. By the way, too dangerous doesn't mean it's unbeatable. Looks can be deceiving. Okay. You got a lot of
It's a
super
risk.
involved community members. I love it.
Yeah.
And then real quick, I saw I'm very curious to know what it takes for a developer to add Play Anywhere. It sounds simple, but I imagine there's dev and probably testing and stuff involved. Yeah, so it will range on the complexity of the game. In a game where there's so many systems, like in this one, I can see it being a little bit more on the complex side in comparison to, let's say, like a platformer. A platformer,
Yeah.
Generally there's only a couple of systems in place. Sometimes platformers go really in depth, so it really just depends on how deep all the mechanics of the games are.
Yeah.
In the grand scheme of things, it is just like, if you look at it from way zoomed out, it is just getting the game to run on an SDK. So it's like meeting tech specs. That's really it from the way zoomed out. Getting it to run on the SDK is the tough part. So, like, yes, there's absolutely tons of testing. You'll want to make sure that you're going through all of your certifications to make sure that everything is doing everything appropriately. We help you a lot on our side of things over at ID at Xbox. If you have questions along the way, our teams to help with Play Anywhere are great. And realistically, it's a conversation where, if Chimera wanted to have a conversation after about, hey, your community was interested in Play Anywhere after this or during the stream, could you pass us along the documentation and the SDK, and we'll look into it, kind of a thing. Those are conversations that we are absolutely welcome to have with any developer. It is a lot of bringing awareness. It's one of the newer Microsoft campaigns to try and get more games to become a Play Anywhere title. And for those who aren't aware of what Play Anywhere is, it is the consumer gamer will buy the game once, and then they can play it on any device that uses the Xbox SDK. So it'll be like Samsung TVs. It'll be either of the Xbox consoles. Your ROG Ally X that's coming out next month. Things like that. So there's a lot of cool things there. So all right. Starting my turn. You said recruiting civilians, so that's going to be in my cards down here?
Exactly. If you use the triggers, then you navigate to the civilian, which is just a notch on the right. It's quite cheap, only 30 gold, and this one you want to recruit and add it to your garrison.
Yeah. So
exactly.
So when I look at my cards on the bottom, the cards on the right are going to be units. The cards on the left are powers and abilities and upgrades.
So the cards on the left represent your strategy cards. So they are cards that you can use on the map, but they also are your battle cards. So long story short, at the very bottom in the middle, it's your recruitment cards. And then on the left, it's going to be any other type of card that you can use at some point, either in battle or on the strategy map.
Okay.
Yeah. And cards in this game are the medium through which you do actions. In a lot of strategy games, sometimes you just click on things. You say, the recruit +1 this, +1 that, etc. For us, we wanted to have something that flows, that feels nice, and also that showcases the art. Like, again, our game is one of its strengths is its visual direction, and we thought that putting cards as a medium allowed us to express even further the lore, the ideas, the creativity. In general, it's a canvas for expression and creativity.
Gotcha. Okay. So I'm learning something here. You can only go where there's no obstacle in the way. So land masses.
Yes. Yeah, the terrain has an impact on how you can
really
move.
Cool.
I think it makes sense again in a strategy game because the movement points that you have and that you want to invest in going to this or that place is important.
Yeah.
And it's there. For example, the other faction that you didn't choose at the beginning of skirmish match, the cavalry, they have 15 movement points. They can go very fast, and I've already won skirmish matches by in 2 turns crossing the map and just surprising the enemy at its door. Obviously, it wasn't a person. It usually is an AI on easy mode,
Okay.
and then it gets surprised because normally this kind of thing isn't meant to happen. But yeah, and what you've just done now is you've sieged a location. So this location is fortified. It has a low fortification level. You see that there's a little
So it
one.
takes a turn to be able to break
E-
past the border and then attack the army inside.
Exactly. And if the
Okay.
level of fortifications was higher, it would take more turns. And if, for example, the hero inside had a fortification boost, it might be even higher. And on the other side, if you had an anti-fortification hero, which exists, the turn might be lower. The counter
Oh,
might be lower.
that's
So
cool.
it's this kind of feature, that you play with, and that can end up
Almost
being a rock
feels,
paper scissor.
if I had something along that line, almost feels like kind of going after a rush build strategy where you're trying to like capture units a little bit faster because
Hmm.
you have the anti fortification. That's cool.
Hmm.
Okay, so then
Yeah.
in a turn like this where I'm sieging,
Yeah.
is there anything else for me to really do, or I mean, it would kind of be like just maintenance on places that I already own normally.
Yes. Yes, I'm just taking a look at your side of things. Yeah, you should be able to beat the army that you're sieging. This will definitely not be an issue. Um, no, right now I think it's quite. There's nothing really. Yeah, there's no urgency or to do anything at this point. You could
Okay.
go to your capital and already recruit some units because you will need to do some, yeah, moving units around and stuff like this. So you could recruit either more cavalry or priests, for example. I would recommend at this point increasing your ranged capacities and recruiting a war priest for the future because you're gonna want to come back to your capital anyways to cash in your loot wagons.
Okay. Um, you said war priest. Is that going to be this one?
Acolytes of Wrath. Yeah, sorry,
Okay.
I meant to say Acolyte of Wrath. The War Priest is your hero.
He's
All good.
very expensive. He's going to bring me down to almost nothing. So, um,
You can choose to have a less powerful infantry or cavalry. I don't know how much gold you have actually. No, you don't have
I've
enough
got
gold, but
just under 100, but that's okay. I'll bring him in here for now, and then
mhm, mhm.
I think I'm probably good to end my turn. Yeah.
Yep, yep.
Cool. Okay.
All right. And
Um,
you see the neutral armies. They move instantly on the strategy map. So they have their own logic behind them.
yeah.
All right.
For reference, going for adventure locations early can give you a big boost going forward. Okay,
Yes.
good to know.
It's
I
it's a risk reward. It's really a
yeah,
risk reward.
I wasn't sure whether to go for where was the oh, I think it was this guy, right? Yeah. It was an adventure 2 and I saw you got stuck at your adventure 2, so I was like, I'll avoid that one for now and I'll go for this unit for now. So, um
Yeah, that's fair.
let's see. Oh,
All right, and
here we
I'm
go.
going to attack then. Yep, that location there. So there's actually quite a powerful unit in there. It's Rage Sworn, but it's only one unit, and I should be able to make it. I say should, but sometimes let's say the risk was calculated, but man, am I bad at maths. It's that meme.
You look like you're
Yeah,
doing
actually,
okay for now, I
for
guess.
now, for now. If I were to lose my hero, if it were to die, that would be a problem because the hero actually buffs the construct, so the unit, the range unit launching spears. It's very powerful, provided that my hero is alive. If it dies, then it will lose its buff, and it might become all of a sudden the match becomes this yeah the tide turns. I was going to say the turn
Yeah.
tides. That makes no sense. So it's again it's a strategy game. So if you look at all the systems, consider all the systems. It's really rock paper scissors, and there is most of the time always a strategy to beat a hero, even if he seems too powerful. There is normally a way to make your way out of it.
And
And so
your
what I'm
your
going
hero is your guy flinging this spear,
this
correct?
hammer. No, my it's the one in front with the hammer, the single
Oh,
guy.
this guy. Oh,
Yes, absolutely.
okay.
It's a constructor.
Oh, I figured it
And
was this guy. This guy,
no, no,
like,
no, no, no.
okay. Oh, I guess I probably could have
And
inspected and probably seen. Okay.
all good. And what I'm going to do right now, you might want to zoom out if you want to
Oh,
take a look. I have a building. So you have locations, and then on these locations you can add buildings. So they are then improvements, and they can add either perks. They can increase the income that a certain location will grant. They can unlock certain recruitment cards. So right now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to place a building called Constructorium. So you saw a
oh, now
little
they're linked.
structure pop up, and also fortifications just popped up. And
Yeah.
then now in this location, I can do a bunch of things in addition. Well, actually, not a bunch, but it increased my building material income, which is very important for this hero. And also, I unlocked a new recruitment card, which is the Summon War Titan. So I can actually summon more of these stone-like units, but it's very expensive, so I won't be able to use it now. But at least, yeah, it's good. It's future-proof in a certain sense, and I don't need to recruit a
Okay.
civilian to protect that location anymore because it has fortifications.
Gotcha. Gotcha. Okay.
And
Okay.
that is pretty much all I can do at this point in my turn. I will still use my global card to recruit a civilian probably somewhere. Yeah, I'll just recruit it over. Huh, yeah, over there. And that's all I can do in my turn, so I will end it.
I love your
Uh,
community strategizing in the chat.
yeah. They are very invested, and I've actually lost most of the time to them, I have to say.
Oh, you'll never
Um,
like unless you're like a professional gamer, you'll never beat your community. It's one of those things where
Absolutely.
when I used to do streaming professionally, there was one of those things where it's like as a streamer generally as a streamer who does a lot of gaming, generally the idea is to try to stay as knowledgeable as possible, but then
Yeah,
it really comes down to, let's say you have 50 people watching you. You have to beat the knowledge of 50
yeah,
people. That's really hard, right? And so
yeah,
now you
yeah,
have this thing where your community loves your game. You now have to be more actively playing your game than they are playing your game. And
yeah.
with you doing development, it just you don't have the time. So they
No,
get so good. Uh
exactly. And they were kind enough on certain occasions to tell me like when you're playing chess and you pick up the piece and they look at you like, "Are you sure you want to do that?" And and I was like, "Yeah, why would I?" And then all of a sudden I get stormed in one turn. My
That's
capital
so
walls
funny.
go down and I lose instantly. And I'm like, "Oh God, my God." At least I knew how to play chess, but sometimes, yeah, I just get wrecked at this.
That's so funny. Okay, so in a turn where I've now breached the gates,
Yeah.
how do I engage in the battle?
So as you the same as before, you select your army, which you'll have to select like the outer circle because exactly, and then just click A and
Oh,
attack. You see the little sword icon pop up. This means like, yeah, go for it.
okay.
And the only difference from other fights is that since the location is fortified, they will be able to attack with a sort of crossbow-like arrows. You have your cavalry charging, and yeah, they just flew some arrows towards your priest, but you'll be fine. And that's the only difference when you have fortified locations that the units defending will have maybe a bit of a power boost, and they'll have this crossbow being able to shoot arrows at this or that unit.
Gotcha. Okay, cool. Okay.
But yeah, you won easily, so all good.
Cool. Okay. Um. Oh, he's almost level 2. My hero. That's cool.
I think you might even be able to level up. No? Not yet. Okay, you're basically on the brink of it. That's
Yeah,
fine.
he was like 8 XP away, something like that. Okay,
Yeah.
so now
Okay.
this
One
is a
thing that
little
I
bit of a
would
different turn because I already did the exploration and now did the battle. But I did
yeah.
build units in this base
Yes.
last turn. Um,
So they are there. They're still there. You have
yeah.
you have your acolytes of wrath in there. Probably I don't know if you can recruit. Yeah, you could recruit infantry, but that's it. Um, right now, I would not do anything. But what I would do is if you go back to the strategy map, use your tithe card, which is the card that
Mm,
always shows up on your screen, and use it on the village because before you use it, I'll explain why. If you zoom out on the high level overview, you'll notice that your village, that the very first location that you conquered, it's basically at full meter of level 1,
mm.
meaning that it can now be upgraded to level 2, which I think you should do. But if you use the tithe card on it, yeah, you see, you have the building upgrade card at the bottom now if you select that
Oh,
village again. But before you do that, if you use the tithe card on that location, because it has its prosperity meter to the max, you'll be able to get a lot of gold, probably 100 gold out of it. So you'd want to use it now. The only downside is that when then you're going to upgrade it, it's going to go slower, the prosperity, for 5 turns, but you'll have a gold rush basically, which is very
gotcha.
important for your faction because your faction is actually gold driven.
Gotcha. Okay. So I'd use the tithe right now, right?
Yes, absolutely.
Oh, okay. And
Yeah,
then you can select the location. Okay, cool. Got it.
exactly. So you use it there, and there's going to be a little animation telling you, yep, you got your gold. You got, okay, 58. Didn't get 100, but it's still quite a good at this point of the game.
I don't
If you
know. Your chat
continue,
said it should have been 86. You're
my chat says it should have been 86. Well, maybe we have a bug. I don't know. It should have been 86.
How do
Probably
they know
not.
these things? They are so studied into the game.
Yes, yes, for sure. I'm trying to guess why. Yeah, anyways. Um, and then now what you should do is you upgrade your location with that card, the other card that's still available and
This
shiny
one.
in your hand.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Cool. So what
And
is
then you
this
upgrade it.
perimeter? What is that indicating?
So the perimeter indicates up to where you can play the card. It's not relevant when you're from a location because obviously the location doesn't move, but it's the same thing for heroes. So sometimes there's cards which have a certain radius of action on the strategy map. If it's tied to the hero, you're gonna sometimes maybe want to move your hero before using a card.
Ah, okay, that makes sense.
Yeah.
Okay, so but in this case, it's irrelevant.
Exactly. In this case, it is absolutely irrelevant.
Okay, cool.
And so there's a little bit of props that appear, and
Yeah,
yeah, your location has increased, and
cool.
normally your income as well will have increased, and you can perceive the income that you get from a location by hovering over it on the strategy map and clicking the tooltip, which is the up arrow on the gamepad.
Yeah,
Yeah, exactly. So it gives you 7 gold and 4 building materials per turn. And
yeah,
because it's now level 2, that has increased.
cool. Okay, okay,
And
very
at
cool.
this point, yep, that's all you can do.
Yeah, okay.
And what you will likely want to do on the next turn is when you go to back to your capital. Well, first of all, go back to your capital, pick up the loot wagon from the tithe card, and then cash it in, and then you'll have just a rush of gold at that point, and yeah, more gold than you can spend probably. But it's a good problem.
Cool. Okay.
And on my side, I will actually recruit a second hero. So if you go down to the my space of the bottom of the strategy map, you'll see that I will be able to make a new hero pop up in the capital I have to pick which one I want, and I will actually go for the Monodica, which is the healer equivalent in the old race, and it just popped up in my location now.
Sometimes it's better to build buildings than upgrade locations, since those prove more useful. According to Racer King in the chat, it sounds like you're sabotaging me, so I might have to start listening to chat.
I'm trying to explain the game, but he's not totally wrong. The only thing is that you don't have any buildings right now to use, so it's not relevant. It will become once you have, but you have plenty of building material at this point, and you're gonna have a bunch of gold, so it's a decision you'll be able to make. I'm actually optimizing, making sure you're doing. I think that's the thing. The community sometimes is a little hard because some of them are so proficient that they're like, "Oh my God, you didn't do this! How dare you!" I'm like, "Dude, like that's golden path tactics. It's okay sometimes to be wrong." But yeah.
It's so funny.
All right. I will recruit. Okay, I will do this. And yeah, so in my army, I now have harbingers, which are units that are.
Down here.
Sorry?
I think I saw them pop up.
Yeah. So there's two things that have appeared. So it's the ones with the shiny yellow spirals. Those are the harbingers. So they're ranged units, and their attack in a line, meaning it can pierce multiple and attack multiple enemies at once, which is cool. And in the front, you see those three little spear launching constructs. Yeah. Now, this is the garrison units, and you have the same actually. You will have in your locations that any location, whether fortified or not, you have a chance of having units pop up. So there's none in this one, but maybe if you go in the village that you first conquered, there might be a unit that appeared and that will naturally be there to defend it.
Oh, yeah.
Is it that one? I'm not sure. I can't. Can you inspect it?
I only left one here, and now there's two. Oh wait.
Yeah, but this is from the tithe card.
Oh.
This is from the tithe card. But still, it's good to keep an eye on this. And from now, I will go.
Okay, so you have like moments of RNG that can happen to.
Yes.
To help.
Yes, but it's small because actually, fun fact, we had before a lot more RNG in the game. We had basically random summoning of certain units, and there was an overwhelming consensus that, well, not overwhelming. Let's say there was a non-negligible. Negligible, is that a word in English? I know it's in French, but
yeah, negligible.
Yeah, negligible belief that RNG wasn't good for the game, because in strategy you need to know exactly what happens.
Generally, in strategy games, the only RNG that comes into place is dice rolling. Usually, that's what you'll normally see is on units that require a dice roll, or on a something that will require like a random number generation. That will be the RNG that you see in place, but it's usually not tied to. It's usually based on success of the action that you're trying to provide, not based on whether something will randomly occur on the map, unless it's, by the AI. But that's actually pretty interesting. I kind of like that, like RNG, in a game of strategy where RNG can just kind of be on your side one game, or, or makes you have to strategize a little bit more because it was in the favor of the enemy. I kind of like that.
We do have we have RNG elements. The dice roll that you just mentioned. This is what happens when you're playing when you're in a battle. There's basically dice rolls. Of course, they're in the background, but there's dice rolls going on to know whether you hit or not a unit.
Oh, the actual combat.
Exactly.
Oh, cool.
That's how it's done. It's not necessarily that it's not yeah, you won't hit necessarily a unit. So but
Okay.
yeah, but because of that, we took out a big part of the recruitment randomness RNG in the recruitment of units and to make things more predictable, which wasn't a bad thing because, for example, in one card which could give you 3 units, we were able to create 3 cards,
Hmm.
which is always good for options then on our side. Yeah. And I ended my turn, and so there's 2 things that obviously you should do is with your army, go back to your capital. You should be able
Oh,
to go to
with my
it.
army?
Yeah, yeah, with the main army and pick up the loot wagon first on the village where you use the tithe card to make sure you pick up the loot wagon there.
Okay, so I drag them over here first.
Yeah, first drive them over there and inspect the location and move the loot wagon from the garrison to your reserves.
Oh, I
You have
already
to
have them
inspect
selected.
it.
And then bring them in here.
No, 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 no. First, click the Y and take
Oh,
the
and
loot
then
wagon
move
that's in the garrison. Exactly.
into
To
here.
make sure you take it with you.
Oh, wait, there's
Uh,
2 Oh, because I invaded the second base. Okay, got it.
yeah, yeah, exactly. Because you invaded the second base. And can you actually go to the location? Okay, unfortunately you cannot, but that's okay. There's going to be another way. If you click on B to leave the screen, you have the possibility to recruit a new hero right now. So if you use your triggers and you play that card on your capital, you will be able to summon a new hero.
And why did I get this turn or this card? Because just turn
It's
4.
random. It's
Oh, okay.
random. Wait, is it random? I forgot. But yeah, I think it's because it's turn 4. It either appears on turn 3 or 4, and then it appears every 3 or 4 turns to give you the possibility to expand basically your armies plural.
Gotcha. Okay. Okay, so I'll just select and then okay, yeah.
Y-
I'm still getting used to that where it'll give you the option of like where to place things. Okay.
Yeah. And so you have the option to either bring in another war priest or a high lord,
Oh.
which is the cavalry type of hero. I would say it's a personal preference. The advantage of the cavalry is that it can move if you don't put any slow units in your army, it can move up to 15 points per turn. It has 15 movement points, which can
Mm,
prove to be quite useful.
gotcha. Okay. Yeah, I mean let's do that.
So it will pop up in your capital. And if you inspect it, you'll see that it comes already with some units. You're not basically just one lone hero. It comes with a few units. So you have basic foot infantry and already a unit of cavalry. At this point, what I would do is with this hero, go and fetch the loot wagons that you have in your other army just next to it and bring it to your capital. Basically, act as a supply line
Yeah.
that then is able to cash in because right now your loot wagons, you still haven't cashed them in.
Is it worth bringing like some of these units out of the garrison since they're kind of just sitting here? They could be useful as an army unit instead.
They will for sure, yes. You can either do it now, put it now in your army, or you can do it later. And you just had a garrison actually unit pop up.
Yeah, I saw that.
Uh,
This guy. Yep.
yeah, the garrison units they can only stay in the garrison. They cannot be put in your army. So if you were to take one, it
Oh.
would just be the acolytes of Wrath units.
Oh. Cool. Okay. Well, I'll move him now. These guys,
Sure.
so I don't forget later.
And you might want to put them in the back of your army. It's the
Oh, because these are
positioning of
range
units.
units.
Exactly, and the
Yep.
positioning of units is actually quite important, and it can definitely make a difference. Depending on, for example, if you in front of you have an army with cavalry, and that they are going to charge forward. If you have units behind, like there's a series of units, they will all get damaged. So it's good sometimes to move your formations to make sure that you're not necessarily hit as hard by a defending army.
Yeah. Okay. Interesting. Okay. But for now, we're just going to go here.
Yeah,
Bring him
exchange with. Yeah, exactly. You enter the exchange screen with your other army. So that's another feature that you can have a screen where both of your armies pop up and you can switch units between the two.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
Oh. Okay.
So now what you're going to want to do is take the loot wagons from the right, put them to the left, and then with your hero that still has movement points, you cache those loot wagons in your capital. And then you can do even more
We're gonna
recruitments.
leave this guy, right? I don't remember what this guy is.
So this is an artifact. This is actually another feature. I'm going to inspect it to read what happens. If you inspect it with the Y button, you'll see its description, and it says that it will reduce the recruitment cost by 15%, and it's double the effect for units that are Believer, Void, Light Eater, Primordial, and Celestial. So these are all unit tags. Each unit has one or multiple tags, and yeah, it basically is a buff for a specific subset of units.
Okay. And we want to move
And then
him
you can
back here now.
Exactly, and you're gonna have a little cache-in animation appear. Poof. And now your gold is, I can't see it on, it's 122.
122, yeah.
Yeah.
So we definitely gained
So
a lot of money there.
exactly, and so you can recruit new units. The hero that you just recruited, by the way, has perks that allow it to buff cavalry and knight type units. So obviously then for this kind of hero, you're going to want to build up strong cavalry armies, basically.
Okay. Okay. So we'll go into... Oh. We'll go into here. Okay, interesting. Okay.
And then you have, I think you can recruit Iron Sworns. Yeah. Obviously, they're quite expensive. It will use up almost all of your gold. But you, I mean, you have, yeah, but I mean, you have to obviously spend it, and this army is not very powerful yet. But then you can use it to explore, like, I don't know, if you send one of your armies to the east and one to the west, or one to the south, then you can definitely cover multiple fronts at a time.
So I can see how much distance I can move. My camera is currently blocking it on stream, but it says 5.6 out of 10. So that's going to be how much more I can move, right?
Exactly, and it shows up on the movement meter when you're trying to move.
But I can move him back here, and then they'll be ahead, or I can't have two armies in one location.
No, you can't have two armies in one location, but since your new hero, your new army is not damaged, it's totally fine, I think, if you go in a certain direction and it's closer to whatever location you want to then assault on the next turn.
But I'll need to do something with my current army that's in this location.
I don't know what's the state.
Currently no, it's right here.
Oh, so what you could do, if that's up to you, I would say, is you could very well do an exchange and take the cavalry that is currently in your other army and put it in the all cavalry army because it'll make it stronger and it's more of its type, and take and put the other foot infantry with the war priest, because he actually buffs, if I remember correctly, he buffs foot infantry.
So I gotta move some people around here. So I can do like that. Do I want... Oh wait, I imagine you have to have your champion character with your army at all times. You couldn't put like two on one side.
No.
Okay.
No.
Okay. Well then this is probably the way to go, yeah? Just like this?
What Yes, yes, exactly. I was checking where your garrison was, but yeah, exactly. Only your garrison, the starborn civilian is in the garrison, and the rest is in your army. That looks good.
Okay. Okay. Cool. Uh. Okay. So then I would leave. Um. So leave, and then
With
so
that,
if I end turn, what happens with these guys? They're halfway.
they're just there. Yeah, they're just halfway. You can even move them a little more. I believe you can make them go to the other side if you wanted. It wouldn't have a big impact.
Okay.
I'm too far off anyways to to ambush you. I'm completely on the other side of the map, so I wouldn't be able to attack.
Gotcha. Okay. Cool. Okay.
And then yeah, there's nothing. I don't think there's anything you can do. No, there's no location to level up, so you can't use building material. Nope.
I could I guess I could move this unit slightly this way if I wanted to try to get a little bit closer, I guess. But like if
You
I'm
could,
splitting
but
the armies.
yeah, it's not. Honestly, I don't think it's worth it. It wouldn't make
Okay.
much of a difference.
Okay. All right. I'll end turn. Oh, I just
All
realized
right.
that these little free range units will also move around. Oh yeah, because you said that they can
Yep.
attack bases and stuff.
Exactly, it's
Interesting.
the neutral armies that they have a logic on their own. They're harmless usually. That most of the time they're harmless, except if you're like very weak, then you can potentially get attacked by them. So it's still something you got to pay attention for. And most of the time, they will take over locations which have been left completely abandoned. That's the most important thing to yeah to keep in mind.
Gotcha. Okay. Um,
Uh,
let's see. Got a couple people in chat want to make sure that I can respond to some of the things in
mhm.
here. Um, hey Petey. Name of the game is called Songs of Silence. It's their 1 year anniversary. So we're celebrating with a little stream, talking with the project manager Quentin, and
Yep.
yeah, just kind of introducing the community who may not have seen the game in the past, and hanging out with some of the community members who are super active in their Discord and quite knowledgeable about the game. So,
Very knowledgeable.
um,
All right, I will
let's see.
go and siege a location to the east. This one is actually fortified quite heavily. It has a
Oh yeah, you
fortified
got two
two, I
turns.
believe. Yeah, two turns. So,
I'm surprised you
so I'm
couldn't
gonna have
make
to.
that navigation because the environment was in the way. Does it calculate that you need to like kind of go past the mountains and then south?
Yes, I had to go
Okay,
east and then south. Exactly.
got it. Okay,
And my second army, I wanted to cash in my loot wagons because I still have not done that. And yeah, I had basically 100 gold idling. And I can now recruit some more constructs. There we go. So I will
all
recruit
right.
that
Songs of
guy.
Silence community. Should I be moving over to this guy here and doing the adventure tile first? It's an adventure 2,
Adventure choose
or
might be a little risky, but
should I go this way and start dominating everything in this corner? Because I know I've got this, and then I've got this army that's currently in here that I was going to start moving back this way.
let's see what they answer. I know what is a favorite tactic of the community is if you have the cavalry going very far into enemy territory right from like the turn 1 or 2,
Rush building.
conquering a
Yeah.
locate. Yeah, no, worse than that.
Oh.
You go into enemy territory, you take ownership of location and you pillage it because this is a function in the game where if you win a location right after you've conquered it, you have the option to pillage it, which is basically to bring down its prosperity level and even potentially turn it into a ruin. So a ruin, you can take control of it, but it will give nothing. You have to first
Oh.
rebuild it,
So is
make
it
an
like
initial
resource
investment.
drowning?
Exactly, and then it just basically stops and locks resources for quite some time. So basically, scorched earth tactic. and
Gotcha.
I
Yeah.
I often forget about this, and I'm like, why is that guy in my territory? And then he's like burning everything, and I'm like, oh right, and
It's a
this happened to
resource
me.
drowning tactic. That's pretty interesting that you can do that. I don't.
Yeah,
I mean, I suppose that some RTSs have that, but I don't know that I've played games that allow for that. It's usually most of just conquering and recruitment, like you're recruiting more units to your army, kind of a thing. But resource drowning is a really
yeah.
cool thing.
Yeah,
Um,
there are a bunch of features that actually there were more stuff of this kind of thing that we wanted to add in the game, but obviously they unfortunately did not make it. But one of them was, for example, artifact stealing. This mechanic where if you you could sneak up on an army, like if you were hiding in the forest, because this is one of the features in the game, you can make your army disappear to my eyes. If you're hiding in a forest. Now, obviously, I can see your screen, so I know where we
sure,
would be.
sure.
But supposing we didn't share our screen, then you could hide in a forest, and either I go past you unnoticed. Um, I
That's
mean,
kind of
I go
cool.
past you, yeah, or I fall on you, I stumble on you, and I get ambushed, and then my army is like stunned for 5, 10 seconds, and you can just attack it immediately. So yeah, there's these kind of
That's
features.
cool. Interesting. Um,
Um, what should I do
says Quentin forgot about resource starving because he was traumatized.
Pretty much. Like the number of time I think I had to lose 2 or 3 skirmish games with the community before it actually imprinted on my brain like, hey, this is the thing. Stop forgetting about it.
Also, if
All
rooms
right,
are
I'm good.
left alone, they become a layer that spawn neutral units that can be used as body blocks as well. Your
Absolutely.
this
It
the amount of depth is crazy.
Yeah. So see, this is what I mean by the game is meant to be easy to pick up. Like on first glance, especially if you're playing this faction that you are playing, you're like, oh yeah, yeah, it's fairly easy. And then you start reading upon everything, and you're like, oh wait, there's this system here, there's this system there.
Yeah,
Oh, I can do this. Oh, I can do that. And it ends up being, yeah, quite quite a lot of possibilities. And as we build the game, one of the challenges for us is keeping the spirit of easy to pick up, fast paced, etc., but still adding features or improving features that make sense and that add complexity, but that still don't touch what makes the songs of silence.
yeah.
And it's like it's a real design challenge. Because we still want the game to appeal to the current audience and potentially even a new one. But sometimes when going for a new kind of audience, you lose the touch with your existing base. So this is like it becomes somewhere between, I don't know, game design and marketing. And
Oh
it's
man,
I mean I find it fascinating, and
it
we
is
this is what
very
I
fascinating. Yeah.
and this is what I was talking about, like community driven development. So we have feedback on Discord. We did surveys on which we got, like, I remember the first one we did was in January. It was a lengthy survey. Like it took probably 10, 15, even 20 minutes if you really decided to give a lot of information to fill. So not and I thought, yeah, we're gonna get maybe what, 60 answers tops. We got 318, and I was like, what? And it's crazy because at this point it becomes statistically relevant, and it gave us great insights on the game. And we did it again then in June when we released update 1.4, and we were able, because some of the questions were the same, and then we had a bit of new questions. We were able to see the evolution and gain new insights and see that, okay, what we did in the past worked. Like we had a whole balancing issue that seemed then to be fixed thanks to the survey. And yeah, it's really interesting. It's really interesting, crossing the quantitative and the qualitative inputs. Yeah, it's really fascinating.
That's really cool. Okay. Your chat didn't respond to me on whether they think I should go for the adventure here. It's an adventure 2
I think you
versus
should.
going in this direction.
Wait. Actually, wait. No, I would probably not.
Just go
Personally, I would
in.
go.
Oops.
I mean, yeah, I would go maybe to the west because there is a building that gives the same amount of resources, and you don't have to beat the second adventure. Let me just check on your army and see it's. Oh no, honestly, I think you should be able to win.
It says easy win when I click them. So.
Yeah, here, but I was speaking of the adventure down below. You'd be probably
easy
able
win there,
to
but
win
I don't know
both.
if it'll beat the adventure.
I think it will because you have like a mid game setup and all of your units are buffed by your hero because you have a cavalry driven hero.
Yeah. So what do you think? You think go for the adventure or start conquering this way?
You have time to conquer then on the northwest, so I would say rather conquer the one right next to you, the adventure location.
The adventure? Okay. Okay. I'll do that.
If chat disagrees, then I will
They said it
apologize.
would leave you a bit crippled, but you could do the adventure.
I don't think you'll be crippled because you have very fast playing units. Like they charge immediately. Yeah, you just wrecked you're wrecking them at this point. Their lives are going down like a slab of butter under a hot knife, so it's fine.
Cool.
And now let's see what
Zero
the adventure
casualties.
says. Yeah, exactly.
I
Zero.
wonder if they meant the adventure I'll be crippled after, because
Maybe,
now they have
but
to do the adventure now.
exactly. So the adventure, you do it by the card that's on the left. You'll select it, and then you'll want to drag it over the location you just conquered. And yeah, you're fine. I'm confident. That means that you'll be fine.
Okay.
If it was bad, it would have been a red banner, like too dangerous. So this should be, yeah, you just have to beat this snake, which you just did in a second. But other than that, the units are going to be very weak. The snake-like unit actually had the power to melt through your defenses, the armor of the cavalry. But now that it was the first thing you killed, so you're fine. The others are quite weak to your units.
Nice.
There you go. So you're gonna gain gold, experience, and a new unit, and it should be quite good, I think. Let's see. Oh, and you're gonna level up, which is good because your hero still hadn't leveled up.
I lost 4 of my iron swords, so not too bad.
Yes, but you lost four combatants, and so that means that you still have a whole unit. Like if you lose all combatants, then you use the unit, and you can never then get it back. Whereas even if you have like one combatant left with one health point, you leave it in a location to heal, and the unit will be back in depending on the healing in 3, 4, 5 turns.
Okay, I like
and
that.
Then you got the serpent, the gigapede in your army. You earned a free unit.
Wait, where is he?
So click B, go back and inspect the location. And in your reserve, you have
look at him back there.
Exactly. And this unit is actually, it has quite a lot of health, and it has Pierce 3. So it ignores up to 3 ranks of armor, and whenever it deals damage, it deals 3 damage instead of 1, which is a lot. So yeah, it's actually quite a powerful armor melting unit. So typically against your cavalry, which rely a lot on armor, they're quite strong.
Is it worth trading him in for one of my army units? Like if I were to let this guy rest kind of a thing and bring him in?
At this point, I would say, let me take a look. It depends honestly on what you have in front of you. If it's units that have armor, yes. If it's enemies that do not have armor and they have some other kind of perk, no. Then I would just leave this in your reserves for now and maybe focus on. Can you level up? I don't remember if we leveled up your hero.
Do I do that through inspect?
No, you have to select it on the strategy map. So just the layer above. Click A on the army, on the location.
Oh.
There you go.
This one.
So yeah, that card exactly, and you're going to be able to see then a new screen. I mean, I think we already saw it in the previous hero. Okay,
Ooh.
so you have three possibilities. You got one recruitment card, one battle, and one strategy card. So you have to choose between the three. What they do, the one on the left allows you to upgrade basic foot infantry units to cavalry units. So obviously, which is very interesting for your hero because you
Yeah.
have a cavalry based build. The second is a battle card, which I can't see the artwork, so I'm not sure what it does. Oh yeah, so it's just cunning maneuver, so it just gives you a bit of defense, power and defense. Yeah, you ignore negative morale and a bit, and this and camp card, very useful. If you are, for example, in the like you were just before, in the middle of the strategy map, not on the location, and you're like, okay, I would like to heal still and not be vulnerable to ambushes, you use this card and it insta heals partially your army, and
Oh,
it
okay.
avoids it being vulnerable to ambushes.
Okay. Interesting. All
So
right.
I would use
The
either the one on the
community
left, either
says
the one on the right.
no hesitation. This one.
Then within the community we trust.
Which kind
Yeah,
of makes sense because if it goes with the hero, you know that the hero is what you're wanting to empower most. So that
yeah, yeah,
makes sense to me.
yeah, exactly. And then on the next turns, you'll be able to go up on the southwest side. I think you should be fine for a while.
Am I
Yeah,
able
might.
to? Oh, but it says I have 0 out of 10. But it looks
Yeah,
like I
yeah,
can
yeah.
still do this. No.
No, 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 no. Your movement meter is empty. You see that it's not filled.
Yeah.
There isn't the normally if you're able to move, there's
I
a
thought it usually
line
shows you
either
like
full or
a red, but okay.
no, but yeah.
Okay. Cool.
And
Is
then
there
you still
anything
have your
else that?
second hero.
Yeah, I moved them into here. So they're on their way that they're navigating east at the moment.
Oh, okay. But they already used all it's their movement
They're
points. I can't.
1.5. There's 1.5
Ah,
left. It's
1.5. Yeah, yeah.
not enough to get to
You're
here. So
yeah, for sure. Okay. And you don't have any more gold. Building material, maybe you can upgrade no, you can't upgrade a location just yet, but soon, probably on the next turn.
how do
Okay?
I? So for upgrading stuff with building materials, what am I? What am I looking for?
Yeah,
Like,
so if you go back on the strategy map,
hmm,
and then go to the high level overview, you will notice that every location, so with the right stick, you zoom out,
yeah,
and you'll notice that each of your location has a little meter under the level one
yeah,
mark, for example. And when this is full, you know that it can be upgraded. And for you, this is actually part of your faction. You gain 2 prosperity points. So it's the number of points that are required to increase a location. And if you want to go into the detail, go, for example, on your capital, into your capital, I mean.
yeah.
You click Y.
Oh, why?
And if you use your right stick, hover to the almost top left, I would say, to the little icon where it says, yeah, you were just on there a second ago. Where go to the top. Top. Yeah, there.
Oh,
There. And you see that you have 8 out of 9. And you have a +2 per turn. So the +2, that's because you are the Thousand Kingdoms. Normally it's +1 per turn for every other faction. But because that's your specialty, you actually level up your locations faster than I do. And once this hits 9, so it will on the next turn, boom, you can level it up. But if you tithe your location, then the +2 becomes +1. It's the
yeah,
drawback that
which
I
is what
mentioned.
we did
And
here.
actually, yeah, and actually, I would recommend you tithe. Use the tithe card on your capital now because the next turn you'll be able to upgrade it,
Yeah,
and you
it's
actually
gonna
can
upgrade
start the
with just one
yeah because
point.
there's a 5-turn countdown on the tithe card. You can only use it on a location every 5 turns. So when you can use it, you have to use. I recommend you use it.
Okay. And wasn't the strategy to have my loot wagons in here prior though, or no?
Yes, but the good thing is that if you tithe on your capital, because it's a location that is able to store, to cash in the gold, you'll immediately get the gold.
Oh, okay. Okay, cool.
There's no loot wagons intermediary, you just instantly get it. So you should get 92
92
then.
gold. So now I have money.
Boom. Yeah, exactly. Now you have money.
So I theoretically could continue to do something more now that I have money.
You could recruit, but I think all your armies are full. Maybe if you go to the location on the east, yeah, that one. Maybe there's something you can optimize. Yeah, you have. What's the recruitment cards that you have at the bottom? It's Vogelfrey Infantry, and the other. Okay, it's and the other is
Cavalry.
okay, Infantry and Vogelfrey Cavalry. It depends on your hero synergies, I would say. Let me take a quick look. I don't know what chat has to say about this. I might suggest, because it's more powerful,
Use
to
Divine Aid Glowy Boys.
use Divine Aid.
Ah,
it's the one on yes, this one. This one will summon lesser celestial units. So yeah, actually that's a good idea. It just depends on what kind of unit you get. Hopefully you get an infantry unit, but you might get a ranged unit. But I agree with them. I recommend you use it on probably your reserves or the garrison just to see what it brings you.
Oh, okay. So I can just play it in a... Okay, that's cool.
No, because your army size is to the max. You have only 4 slots.
But then I could swap them in and out.
Exactly.
Okay,
absolutely.
Got it.
And you got archers. It's not they're actually quite good. They're quite powerful. Let's see.
Ooh. 5 out of 3 power?
Sorry?
They have 5 out of 3 power.
Yes. So this is a part of the modifiers. So if you use the right stick and look at the perk, it will tell you exactly what is happening. You have a base of the base power is 2, but because you have the accurate perk and because you're in a fortified location, you actually go from 2 to 5.
That's cool. Okay.
Yeah, and there's out of, because normally there's attack and defense power. Normally they're the same, but when there are modifiers involved, your attack power can become different from your defense power and vice versa.
Trying to decide who I want to swap out. The Oathsworn
You definitely want to keep the Oathsworn. They are very, very strong defense units, and you need them at the front lines. And the infantry is actually quite weak, unless there's other infantry units, because they have the banding perk. So it's a perk that basically says the more units you have of that same type, the stronger they become. But if they're alone, they're actually quite weak.
Okay. Okay.
So yeah, the current setup you have is totally fine.
127 gold. You think it's just not worth spending right now?
Honestly, yeah, I think you should keep it potentially for later. I don't see any reason for you to spend it because all your armies are at max capacity. So maybe you'll be able to spend it later on.
Okay. Then I will end turn. You have a siege coming up. Still in another turn.
Yeah, I still have another turn, so I'm just gonna leave them alone. I'm not gonna touch that army. And with the other, what can I do? Oh, I can upgrade location. Okay.
Whoever you have, I don't know if it's a community manager or social media manager running the Songs of Silent Twitch chat has now converted from dev to chat. So Good luck.
He's now converted from dev to the what? Sorry.
Yeah, they've joined the team of being chat instead of dev. So now they are
Oh,
against you. So
okay, great, great, great. I have a mutiny on my hands. I will have to tame it. Uh, okay, interesting. I don't know why, but I can only upgrade. Oh, interesting.
no, chat isn't in the game. It's just commenting on the Songs of Silence Twitch account because they were asking before. Does Keith hate chat already? And this this said no, that I love them, and so now apparently it was a trap, but that's okay. I do love chat.
It's the usual love-hate relationship. I think it's okay. I will recruit some reinforcements there,
We
and
should also
use.
mention, especially since you're doing your turn and you're much more knowledgeable in what you're doing per turn. Should also mention that like you're the game has obviously like we're playing 1v1 in a small map, but you guys have
Yes,
skirmishes where you can play. I assume random players like you can just join a random
absolutely.
lobby, and then you also have a
Yes,
campaign, which I imagine the campaign would be teaching me everything that you're teaching me now.
pretty much. Yeah. So the game has let's say one, two, three, four modes. I'll explain why I say four. Uh, so let me just end my turns. That way I can focus. So we have, of course, the main campaign, eight campaign maps with basically a playtime to between around 15 hours if you just go on the golden path, and it can be 20, 21, 22 if you decide to do everything, especially if you're trying challenging. Challenging becomes a real. You really have to think about what you're doing, and even us, the team, we have sometimes we make mistakes on challenging in the campaign. So, first one is campaign. The second one is skirmish single player, so you play against AI, basically what we're doing, but solo. It's multiplayer, so a skirmish multiplayer, so what we're doing, but against friends. Um, and then you have a new mode which we call scenarios. So because we wanted, basically once we created the campaign, I won't go into too much detail, but we built these tool set to create campaigns, to build maps that have narrative events. And we were like, well, we built a very big system, and it's a shame that we're not using it anymore. So we created this other mode where we can basically tell standalone stories. Now the difference with the campaign is that there's no voice acting. It would be too expensive and too complicated for us to implement voice acting, but it's completely closed standalone stories that can be related or not to the main campaign story. And yeah, it's basically a way of keeping, first of all, the game alive, bringing updates. I have to say we have not brought a new scenario to the game in a while, but that doesn't mean that we're not working on new stuff.
Sure.
And yeah, so these are the four main modes. To speak a little bit about the roadmap, because the game is very much worked on, we did a dev stream before, when was it? I think it was in the first half of August, where I explained what was coming. I couldn't commit on any dates yet. I will be able actually this week to commit on a timeline and an order and a timeline of things. But what we're going to want to do is a first expansion a first expansion, and then we're going to want to introduce a new core feature to the game, which we've picked to be location management. So this is something that stemmed out of the community survey and discussions with players. So that's yeah, so that will be coming probably somewhere early 2026, and then probably another expansion in the works.
Okay.
Um,
You
and
guys have a
of
lot
course,
going on.
I mean, we're a small team, but we are very fast. That's a good thing about small teams is that we all know each other. We're good friends. We're tightly knit. Uh,
Sure.
so so yeah, it's we're able to do things. Also, sometimes you're working on big features, but you look at something that the community mentions, like, hey, I've been having this problem for a while. Can you help out? And you're like, oh yeah, that's like a 1 day dev. Let me just put it in the game, and so this kind of thing happens still. So there's also like a ongoing live ops process where we put small patches out basically every second, best case every 2 3 weeks, sometimes a month, if we basically have put our priorities on big content slated for later this year.
Okay. Very cool. Man, yeah, you guys. I mean, that's awesome. One, it's just incredible to hear. Like, small dev team making, I mean, a super ambitious game. Like creating a RTS is not something to scoff at by any means. Like,
But
there's
it's not
so.
we're not an RTS per se, but we're a turn-based mixed with an RTS.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So it's like
Absolutely. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah. Definitely nothing to scoff at. There's so much in this game. I'm actually curious. How long was the original development from getting to
ooh.
from like start to launch?
The development started, if I'm not mistaken, it was so there's different phases to development. If we're
Sure.
talking about the beginning of development, we're talking then about the concept and prototype phase. This was around 2020, I believe.
Okay.
And then once we got a better idea, we entered pre-production. This was about, yeah, around 2021. Funny enough, there was a major overhaul. Like we had a completely different visual direction. It was still Art Nouveau, but it wasn't as bright. And we were like, no, no, we need something that is like more, no, not neon, but definitely with more contrast. And so they changed completely the faces, the expressions of the main characters, for example. So that took a bit. Then, of course, this was just art. Development, gameplay development was ongoing normally. And then production started, if I'm not mistaken, end of 2021, early 2022. I
Okay.
joined the studio in 2023. Yes, May 2023. And yeah, they've been basically at this point a year in production, and there was already a good basis. There was still a lot of work to do. So yeah, at this point, I helped them at some point
Cool.
push it out the door.
Yeah. That's awesome. Um. All right. Quick interlude here. It looks like my capital is able to level up. How do I do that?
Ah, yes. So it's the same as we did. You go and you select your capital with A, and cards will show up, and you have exactly the
Oh, it's the
building
build up.
upgrade. Yeah, the build up card. Exactly.
Oh,
That's the one you want to use.
gotcha. Okay. Neat.
And there you go. And now your income is 43 gold per turn,
Yeah.
51 building material. Yeah, that's quite good.
Nice.
That
I went
that is
through. I
quite
already did 2 battles, so both armies are spent. If anything, it's just resource management from here. Um. But I don't think that there's too much to do. I mean, I have 160 gold. I just don't know where I would spend it. I think that that's one of
um
those things where it's like those minor details of like, what do you do after you keep expanding? Is like when it comes like when you become a more experienced player, you're like, okay, well, I have 160 gold. I could do this kind of a thing, and those
yes.
are the things that I'm just not aware of yet. So,
So one thing we can take a look at is each of your heroes, maybe their strategy card, maybe they have a building upgrade. I didn't pay attention to which cards you chose while you were leveling up. Oh, that hero can level up actually.
oh yeah, I did level up, or I did. The other one leveled up too. The other one leveled up
Yeah,
last turn and this turn. So,
yeah. So
uh,
this you definitely want to do, and maybe you're gonna get some specific cards. Yes. Okay. Oh, okay. So you have a very powerful battle card on the left. It basically has a comet hurled down from the sky and it will stun everyone. This is a
Nice.
recruitment card that costs a lot, but it gives you very powerful celestial units. So they're going to bring basically the end game level units for that hero, but you will not be able to use it very much yet because you probably don't have enough resource. This will
Okay.
upgrade then on the right your temples, and they actually give you more than faith, so your faction resource, which is something that then powers your hero. So either you want to go offensive and pick the battle card, or you want to go like long term and probably pick the temples.
Interesting. Your
It's
your
not
community
it's not an
said
easy
the
choice.
middle card.
The thing is, you will only be able to use it maybe once or twice, because currently your income for faith, which this card consumes, is 12 per turn, meaning you'd only be able to use it every 6 turn, which is kind of ridiculous.
Uh,
And you're gonna get it again. You're gonna be offered it again, so it's not like it's gonna go away.
that
Personally,
makes
I would
see
go.
that makes sense to me. I would rather something that's benefiting me almost every turn, or like passively benefiting me without me
Yeah, yeah,
even
yeah.
having to do much, versus something that I may only be able to use like maybe twice or three times in the game. Um,
Exactly. So either you go offensive or you go with the building upgrade on the right.
Interesting. Okay, I'll go for the offensive just for stream purposes.
Okay.
But okay, so now they're upgraded. Pillage. Okay, okay, so it's the regular stuff that pops
You
up.
you might want to tithe your location, the one in the fort on the east that you were just before. Yeah,
This
that
one.
one. That one can be tithed because it's at level 1, so you'll be able to upgrade it probably next turn. Or maybe now. I don't know what time. No, you won't be able to upgrade it now, but then you can still get the gold from it now.
Oh, because I don't have the building materials. Okay, got it.
Yeah, you don't have enough building material, exactly. So then you get a loot dragon, and you can just pick it up on the
And
way.
another
Uh,
83 gold
yeah,
that will come out of it. But I'd have
yeah,
to pick it
83.
up on a next turn.
Yes, yes.
Okay. Interesting. Okay.
And yeah, that's pretty much, yeah,
Okay,
I think that's it.
I think that's about everything on this turn.
Mhm, mhm.
What do you can you is are these adventure tiles uh oh, you can still upgrade them and everything.
Yeah, yeah, there's still locations. They
Oh,
they
okay.
actually give you a lot of building material, the adventure locations.
Gotcha. Okay, cool.
10 per turn is huge.
Yeah. Cool.
But
Okay.
obviously to conquer, they can be a bit tricky, especially in the early game, which is why if you can get them, it's good to get them.
Yeah.
All right, on my end, I can
You
now,
finally got these guys.
yeah, like I feel like this army's been sleeping for the past, I don't know, half hour, and they're like, okay, just back to napping. Good. So let's attack. Battle shouldn't be too difficult. So one thing that is interesting, and it's also one of the funny stories of development, when we released the game, uh, it became quite obvious that it would be good if we could speed up the battles, because especially in the early game it's fine, but then in the end game it can get long, very long. And what we did but didn't realize is we actually set up an acceleration feature. How did we call it? Fast forward. We had
Yeah.
created for debug purposes a fast forward feature that worked fine. And then when the game released, we were like, yeah, people are complaining battles are too long. And we looked at
You
each other and
already
we're
had
like,
the feature.
wait,
Yeah.
we already have the feature. It's just for devs at this point. And literally the next day, it was in the game. Like we instantly put it. Of
That's
course, we had to do some
really
some
cool.
testing, but it's the kind of thing in development where it happens to every team, where like you're so focused on maybe the complex stuff or a certain goal that you forget the obvious, and then the game comes out and people mention the obvious, and you're like,
Yeah.
oh snap, we totally forgot about that.
Yeah.
So
No, that's
yeah,
awesome,
that
man.
was
Yeah, you definitely like. Yeah, in the development process of games, generating tools for dev purposes to make dev easier and QA, especially QA, easier.
yeah,
You,
absolutely.
you generally will create some of these tools that will never get shown to the public, but sometimes they're actually really useful. You usually will see it in
Exactly.
a lot of games where like sandboxing is needed to be able to like generate, like, let's say, map creation or and this isn't in particular for games like this is just for anything. Like, let's say, for example, like you play a game like Halo notoriously has Forge to be able to make environments and battle maps and all
Yeah,
this stuff. um,
yeah,
uh, Systems like that in shooter games are generally used as dev in the beginning to be able to
yeah.
just generate maps and play with concepting new maps a lot easier. But then you realize, well, we could just let the community make maps, and then you just publish that tool. So yeah, it's very, very cool to see systems like that get utilized.
It's I think that's the story behind Super Mario Maker.
Oh,
That
I'm sure.
they built this to build the regular games, and
Yeah,
then one day they looked at each other like, wait a minute, like this is actually fun to make.
yeah.
Should we? And yeah, they did it. So
Yeah,
it
it's
worked.
very cool seeing systems like that get built. And I wouldn't be surprised if, a lot of like, a lot of systems like you see how like, like the newer like Animal Crossing games with visiting islands and like really landscaping islands and stuff. Some
Yeah,
of these might have started off as internal tools and then just realized, well, why don't we just make it a feature? Like, some
yeah,
of those things are
exactly.
really, really cool.
Yeah,
Um,
another one actually of these
yeah.
features, and I know it's a little of the rake in the face kind of thing to say. We have this for a feature that the community requests, which is the battle sandbox, basically pitting two armies in front of each other
Oh,
and
like a
seeing what
battle sim.
happens,
Yeah.
because we use it to do first balancing things. But the
Yeah.
thing is, it's so like it needs UI work. It needs because it's disgusting to see right now, and it's
Sure.
it's
They're
like the
usually not
names
built for. I shouldn't even say
exactly.
usually. They're never built
They're
for a
never,
consumer
yeah,
to see. It is very much like
yeah.
this is for testing purposes only. Like, there's no UI built for any of these things.
Exactly.
It's code art, engineer art. It usually looks like chicken scratch. So, yeah,
Yeah, that's exactly the way to put it. But it's something we do want to do, and
that's cool.
I do hope we get the resource. It's again the whole question of like big rocks versus small rocks, and
Oh,
we have like
100%.
some
There's a
really
lot of
big rocks to.
balancing in game dev to determine, is it worth the development time to put this out in comparison to other features that have been requested by community, or not
Yeah,
even other features requested by community, but just things that are good for longevity of the game.
yeah,
Especially like, I don't know what the future of Songs of Silence looks like, but if a Songs of Silence 2 is planned out for the future, you have to determine, like, is it worth building this now, or is it worth this coming out in Songs
also
of Silence 2, for example? Because it would take you so long
exactly.
to build it that instead of using it to put out an update for the game, it might as well just come out with the second one. So there's a
Yeah,
lot of
couldn't
stuff like
have
that.
said it better.
Yeah,
Exactly.
there's a lot. And because you also, in the end, in the grand scheme of things, video games is still a business. Like, like all of you guys are still
Absolutely.
employees. You still need to be able to pay your mortgage or your rent, right? And so like, there's a certain point, which right now, for those who are watching, the game's on sale. Like, if it's their
Buy
1 year
it.
anniversary sale, if there's a time to pick it up now, or if there's a
Yeah.
time to pick it up, this is a great opportunity to do so. But like, there's only so much, um, there's only so much time once a game has lived its lifespan that it's going to make enough money to keep supporting the dev studio. So you have to
Yeah.
move on to the next one, kind of a thing. Might not be the same game. It might be the same game, you know? But no matter what, the devs still need to be able to feed their family. So, like, you still get to a point of, like, it's time to figure out which features shouldn't come out in this game but should come out in the next one.
Yeah.
So that way the community can be excited for the next game, you know?
Absolutely.
Yeah, so there's a lot of cool stuff that comes into there. We do have to get towards ending the stream, so I'm gonna leave this battle the way it was. We did a lot of progression. You conquered almost the entire south side, and I conquered almost the entire north side, so that's cool. We would have started to get close to conquering each other's bases at that point.
This is what I'm going to say. I was going to say, I was like, leave it another 3 turns, and we would definitely have started hitting on each other.
Yeah.
Then. But you also, I mean, you did a good job, and considering that you were picking it up and I had to guide you, and we've been streaming 2 hours. It makes, it's actually quite good. But you see what I mean? Compared to other strategy games, it can be quite fast paced. Experienced players would have gone much faster, and even have modifiers that limit a turn to 2 minutes.
Yeah.
So that's for like
I actually like stuff like
Blitzkrieg.
that, because then it makes you realize, okay, what kind of strategy can I accomplish within this time frame, kind of a thing. And it makes you think 3-4 turns in advance, right?
Absolutely.
That sort of stuff is fantastic for games like this. So I definitely see how much faster of a turn base this can be in comparison to some of your competitors. I mean, realistically, yeah, if I had come into this as an experienced player, which my chat or the stream knows that I go into all of these games as a fresh player. The whole idea is I want to experience this game from a fresh set of eyes as much as they are. So I learn alongside of them instead of me going in and already knowing, not needing to answer or not needing to ask questions, and then they feel confused. The whole idea is I'm with the community in seeing, like, I want to ask the questions that they're asking, and I really felt that I got a lot of that out of this. So that's awesome. Really awesome. So
I'm glad to hear that.
Yeah. So I guess let me let you share, I guess, a little bit of whatever plugs you want to get out there. If there's social media channels, or obviously you have a very active Discord server.
Yes.
Anything along that line, talk about the sale, all that cool stuff. What's coming up for Songs of Silence?
Yeah. So in a nutshell, for anyone who's maybe jumped on the later side of the stream, Songs of Silence, it's a turn-based strategy game where turn-based meets RTS battles. It's fast-paced. It's still very deep in terms of strategy. It's, in terms of visual identity, very rich, very warm, inspired from Art Nouveau, from artists like Alphonse Mucha, which make it very unique and has a very deep visual storytelling. Each unit, each hero has its own portrait, its own backstory. We have literally parts of the community that spent hours talking about the lore and creating stuff around it. It's great. We're on sale right now on Xbox, and we'd love to have more and more people join and play the game. It's alive. We have more coming, more features in the works, more content, trying to push it as fast as possible. Obviously, it's video games. Good things take time. We need to bake it like a loaf of bread that needs to be kneaded and then in the oven, etc. And it was a pleasure joining the stream, joining ID at Xbox. So thank you, Keith. And thanks again for everything. And I hope we can do this again at some point.
Yeah, no, I mean, absolutely. Our moderation team went and gathered some of your social links and stuff.
We're present. Discord. Yeah, Discord. We have a website, but obviously Discord is where we're very present, and there's a lot of activity. Reddit. We're also on Reddit, of course. The usual Twitter, Facebook, Instagram. But if people want to get in touch or really see what's cooking and get first first off news, it's definitely going to be Discord.
Yeah. Yeah. And it really seems that way. It seems that your community is very strong in giving you feedback and knowing where to communicate with you guys the most. You guys are obviously very active with your community, which is fantastic to see as well.
Yeah.
It's really good to see. So, I mean, chat. Quentin said it. Everything that he mentioned. Games on sale right now. Game's been out for a year. It's their anniversary. Pick it up while it's cheap, and keep supporting the dev. Keep helping them out with everything, and keep an eye out for what's coming in the future. It's always good. Cool. I will. Let's see. I will see the community on our next stream. We stream, for those who don't know, Mondays and Fridays, 11 a.m. Pacific time. We stream for 2 hours. And we usually bring devs on stream for dev interviews where we get to talk to them about their current game that launched or year anniversaries, anything like that. We recently did a physical edition stream where Nico DeRico came out with with their game that just launched their physical edition. So it's stuff like that too. I know we have a developer stream next week, so keep an eye out for that. And then if you're not already following ID at Xbox on social media, we do have link trees that were already shared in the chat from our moderation team. Click on those, follow us on all of the channels. We're everywhere. And Fridays, we're doing Free Code Fridays, so keep an eye out for the social post for Free Code Friday. Actually, I think it just went out like 15 minutes ago. So, yeah, keep an eye out. Lots of good stuff coming. Fall season is here. All the big games are coming out. All the indies are coming out. We had 33 this week. So, yeah. Appreciate Quentin for hanging out for the 2 hours. I'm sure it's getting late for you, so I want to make sure you can get going. And then
all good.
Yeah, we'll keep an eye out to see what happens with Songs of Silence in the future. It'll be cool to see and maybe have you back. So
yeah, with pleasure. Thanks again, Keith, for everything and the whole team.
Chat, thanks so much for watching. I'll see you guys on Monday, 11 a.m. Have a good weekend. Goodbye, everyone.
Bye-bye.